Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight we have your very first look at the Tier 4 French cruiser, the Emile Bertin. Now we are using Andre Lemonnier, or Lemonnier, as our commander. We have Isiroko Yamamoto and Nikolai Kuznetsov as our commander inspirations. We have Beyond Range, Igniter, Punch Through, and Fixated as our perks with fully packed there as well. We are currently at level 11. If we go back to the ship and see the upgrades, we are fully upgraded and ready to get the Gleasoneer, as you can see. But we also are running Aiming Systems Mod 1. If you look at the loadout, we are not running any boosters at this time, but we have 3 sonar charges and 4 planes due to the fully packed skill. We are running camo and the community contributor flag. Hit points, 26,500 hit points. 7% torpedo damage reduction. As with most cruisers, you don't want to be taking torps. It ends badly. Main batteries, 152mm guns. They are in a 3x3, so you have 6 guns over the nose and 3 guns at the rear. 152mm guns. 15.7 kilometers, so not bad. Reload time is 12 seconds. Again, not bad. Not amazing for 152s, but not bad. 180-degree turn time, 15 seconds. HE shell damage of 2,200 with a 14% chance to set fires, and AP shells of 3465. Secondary armament's going to be not basically any secondaries. You got 2 secondaries that are 90 mils that reach out to 4.2, so you don't have secondaries on this ship. Torpedoes. You have 6 torpedoes, 2 launchers, 1 on either side, and they have 550mm torpedoes that reach out to 7.5 kilometers. So not bad. And they do 58 knots. They're not the slowest, but they're right there in the slow category. Maneuverability. Wait, what was the detection? 1.2 kilometers on the torpedo detection, so pretty average. Maximum speed, 39 knots, so that's a plus of this ship. It is fast, but it's a French cruiser, so it's going to be fast. They specialize in kiting. Turning circle radius is 670 meters. Rudder shift time of 7.4. And the concealment is 11.3, so not particularly good. But if you spec into concealment, you could probably get that better. Well, you can definitely get that better. Detectability by air, 7 kilometers. Detectability while firing in smoke is only 5.4 though. She's fast. She's got broad launch, so it means she can spread her torpedoes out much wider than most. But she's got paper thin. High caliber shells tend to overpin the armor without arming. And then also because of French cruisers having, I don't know if the Emile Bertin does, but I know most French cruisers tend to have spaced armor, and that can negate a lot of damage as well. Emile Bertin, a light cruiser specifically designed to have the highest speed possible and a powerful artillery. The ship's small displacement was limited by international treaties, so she received only minimal armor protection. She entered service in 1935, and there was only 1 of them. So, yeah. I like the look at the ship, and the French cruisers in particular have an interesting time. I'll go over that in the gameplay, but, I mean, it's a good-looking ship. The camo's a little interesting, I get that, but, oh my god, why is it that the frame rate just tanks when you're trying to look at a ship in port? I will never understand that, Wargaming. Please, optimize the port. If it means getting rid of a sailboat or something, I don't care, just do something. That's annoying as crap. But, without further ado, let's get to the gameplay. Alrighty, so, as with the current tradition, we're going to go through some of the history of this particular ship. Before World War II, Emile Bertin served as flagship for the flotilla of 12 large destroyers of the Le Fantasque and Vauquelin classes, in the Atlantic. At the start of 1939, she was transferred to Toulon. In secrecy, she arrived in Lebanon on the 23rd of September 1939, loaded with 57 tons of gold. Holy mother of God, could you imagine the price of that today? The Polish state gold reserves and returned to Toulon at the start of 1940. After a refit at Toulon, she carried out surveillance around the Canary Islands to ensure that there were no German ships there, German forces. After further dockyard work at Brest, in early April 1940, she became the flagship of Group Z, the French squadron supporting the Allied Norwegian campaign, with Admiral Edmond Darien in command. I'm not going to go into all of the ships that were with them, just due to the fact that you guys hate my pronunciations to begin with, and I'm not even going to attempt it. But yeah, it was a fleet of French destroyers. So there you go. Off of Namsos, she was attacked by the Luftwaffe and damaged by bombs on the 19th of April. She returned to Brest for repair and remained there until the 21st of May, and was replaced off of Norway by the cruiser Montcalm. She made 2 trips from Brest to Halifax, Nova Scotia, the first with the cruiser Jeanne d'Arc, which I'm assuming is the French pronunciation of Joan of Arc for the rest of us. I could be wrong, somebody let me know in the comments below. And aircraft carrier Baron, B-E-A-R-N. Carrying gold from the Bank of France. The French armistice was signed shortly after Emile Bertin had docked for the second time, and when Captain Batet signaled the French Admiralty for advice, the cruiser was ordered to Fort-de-France in Martinique with the gold. No effort by Royal Navy units present succeeded in preventing this, but the ocean liner Pasteur, I'm assuming that's named after Louis Pasteur, you know, the guy that invented pasteurization, which was to follow Emile Bertin, did not succeed in leaving Halifax fast enough. She was seized and used as a troop ship operating under British colors. Once at Martinique and the gold safely unloaded, she made ready to defend the island against an expected British attack, which was abandoned through United States pressure. For the next 2 years or so, the ship was inactive at anchor off of Fort-de-France until on the 16th of May 1942, she was ordered by the Vichy authorities to be immobilized after pressure from the United States. She joined Allied forces in June of 1943 under French colors and was modernized in the Philadelphia Naval Shipyard. Emile Bertin later operated in the Mediterranean, took part in Allied invasion of southern France in 1944, and later bombarded Axis positions along the Italian Riviera. After various Mediterranean duties, the cruiser entered Toulon for a refit until October 1945. She then deployed as a flagship to Indochina until the 2nd of July 1946, when she sailed for home with the cruiser Tourville. Emile Bertin then served as a gunnery training ship until the Navy finally scrapped her in October of 1959. So, with that being said, let's get to the actual commentary. I know it was a lot to read, but I thought it was an interesting story, so I figured I'd let you guys know. Now, we just absolutely wrecked that destroyer. Having him sitting there waiting for us was just too much to not do. Now, luckily for us, the enemy, Emile Bertin, actually sails behind the island that puts him between us. Now, right now, if this Kaiser had any brain cells, he would have absolutely nuked me, because I'm sitting in the perfect angle to just get obliterated. These French cruisers are very, very nasty with both AP and HE. Like, they very, very nasty. But they also don't take hits very well, especially from battleships. Battleships that get any sort of plunging fire on these ships, it's a detonation. It's just absolutely disgusting. It's a devastating strike waiting to happen. However, they are pretty good ships. I like them. You just got to be careful with your team. You'll see a little bit of that later on. Now this Emile is just absolutely begging for it. He backs out and just gets absolutely torched with that last salvo from the rear guns. And thank you to the destroyer for finally getting involved and throwing a smoke screen. That was very, very helpful, especially later in this match. Now, I'm launching AP at this Kaiser because French AP is very good. But against battleships, especially later on, you'll see me firing at the side of a battleship at relatively close range, and the rounds are just shattering, even with all of our penetration. And these are very nasty penetrating shells. But against battleships, 90% of the time you're going to be wanting to fire HE. It's just not quite going to work in your favor. You can do damage, but you just end up with more shatters than anything else, or at least at this tier anyway. I'm waiting to see what happens when you get to higher tiers. Because I like these ships, I really do. And the amount of penetration that this armor piercing has is ridiculous, which is why it surprises me that it shatters on the battleship so much. Now, you notice I'm not throwing my plane right away because I'm saving it. We don't need it at the moment. The guy that we're engaging is in open water, spotted by our destroyer. So we're just going to use the island as cover, try not to get shot anymore, and save our hit points while we try to burn this guy down. He's already used his damage con once, and so this fire in particular would have killed him if I just let it burn. But, you know, I'm not detected currently, so I might as well keep firing. There's no reason to allow him to live longer than he needs. Every second that he lives, he could potentially reload and obliterate a teammate. Unfortunately, or fortunately, whichever way you want to look at it, battleship's finally coming through to actually shoot something, even though he had no health left. I go ahead and throw my plane up here because I know that the enemy is left coming across the mid here towards B. It's pretty obvious, and there we spot the Wyoming. I don't think that's the plane spotting. I think that was actually... Nope, maybe it was the plane. But given that he disappeared, I'm going to say it was me spotting him because of this crease and the island little nub here. And as long as we have that, oh my god, we're in trouble. We only have 12,000 hit points, and that's a heavy cruiser aimed at our broadside. Okay, so time to go bow in, load the armor piercing, and get rid of this furry taco. He doesn't have any health left, so as long as we can hit him, we'll get rid of those 203mm guns. Sure enough, Citadel. At these ranges, it's deletion city for cruisers. Close range, like if you get within 5 kilometers, you're just going to be overpinning everything. So that's where you got to be careful, but then you have torpedoes to back you up. But as this Omaha is about to find out, you literally can't do this. It's an Omaha. There is absolutely no reason for this Omaha to be broadside right now. He can get 5 guns over the nose of his ship. He does not need to be broadside to me. But he is broadside to me. So, you know, I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth. I'm going to try to get rid of him. Now that reload, or using the damage control right there was kind of a stupid play. Because if he had set me on fire right after, or right before he died, I'd have died. That was a dumb play by me. I didn't need to do it, and we finished him off. And we've ended the game so far with 12 Citadels done. You cannot sleep on these French cruisers. And if you're asking why it's taken me so long, there's a lot of ships. And you guys know I like battleships more than anything. So it takes me a while to get through all the different lines. Plus, if I run through all the lines, then it's just regurgitated content all the time. So taking my time, going through the different lines, showcasing the different ships, and maybe going back and doing some history lessons on ships that we haven't actually talked about in the old mythos. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I know you guys like the history as much as I do. Most of you do. I'm going to try to back off of the whole pointing out the mistakes of teammates making in matches because people are getting frustrated with me for that. That's to each their own. I try to look at it as teaching points. But if people don't want to see that, then that's fine. I'll just go back to standard commentary and just talk about why I'm doing what I'm doing. Now here, I overshoot the island and then just floor it because I can't shoot over that island. These French guns have basically no shell arc whatsoever, which is great for being able to hit enemies. Not so great when you're trying to shoot over islands. So this is why they're a kiting ship. You need to use their mobility to get away from trouble. And they are very maneuverable as well, so you'll see quite a bit here. I think we get pretty lucky on this first shot by the Wyoming. He just doesn't hit us. But that's definitely a good thing because we don't have any hit points. And now I'm trying to hope my teammates get involved with their... I can't believe I just said that. I'm gonna try not to point there. No, I don't have the hit points to engage, so I'm trying to wait for my battleships to take the shots away from me. I don't want to be hit. I want to be able to jump in here, but I just bite the bullet, go in. I'm like, screw it. If I die, I die. Cue the clip from Mr. Ivan Drago. But yeah, you can see we're using the AP here, just testing it. I've played a lot of games in this ship, but at the same time, I haven't had a lot of good opportunities to test the effectiveness of the AP on battleships at closer ranges. In an American cruiser, you're going to be doing a lot more damage per salvo. But for the French, they just seem to shatter a lot. As you can see, 5 shatters in that salvo. And so I'm aiming higher up on the ship, hoping that that's a thing, but you can see this guy's dispersion is not doing him any favors. And of course, we're trying to anticipate when he's going to be able to fire his guns in hopes to dodge the majority of them, because every single overpin he gets is one more closer to being able to obliterate me. Now you can see I'm trying to aim higher, but I'm actually hitting still at the waterline, right at the thickest part of his armor and shattering most of the shells. But this time I'm going to aim really high, basically at the base of the superstructure, and finally we get the penetrations that we've been looking at, or looking for. And we finished the game with our Kraken unleashed, despite having the battleship stolen from us previously. But 77,000 damage, high caliber, Kraken unleashed, 2,400 base XP, not too shabby for a light cruiser. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and as always, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.